Hey, Northeast coaches. How are you? It is Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Come on in and let's chit chat. Oh, and yes, it's happening. It's 11:04. People, calm down. Everyone's got stuff going on. We got to get people settled and things settled, and then we're here. So come on in. Let's chit chat. Come on. When you get on here, if you'll please, do something to let me know that you're on here. And, all right, everybody needs to take a breath and calm down. It's like 11:05, okay? I know I said 11. It's 11:05. The world's a weird place now. We can give grace for 5 minutes, yeah? Okay, let's calm down. But I need to see that you're on here, so I need to see some comments. I love seeing hearts. Hearts are fun, but I want to see some comments. I want to know that you're here. Hi, Carolyn. Hi, I don't know how to say Tyranny, Brian James, New York City. You know what? Bless your heart. My girls just came home. They've been home now a week from New York City. I have two that go to school in New York City, one in DC, one in New York, or two in New York City, one at Marymount Manhattan and one at Pace. And the reason why I was not on at exactly 11, although all of you need to calm down about that, and 11:05 is when I came on, is because I have people in my home who are also doing things, and I'm trying to get everybody settled just like all of you are. And I've got someone upstairs doing a voice lesson. Brian, she's the one of the ones who's in New York at Marymount Manhattan. No, you are. Okay, Brian, we got to connect after this. And then Josie's doing internship and online stuff too. So everyone's doing online stuff. So Brian, we've got to connect after this. Jesse's a freshman at Marymount, and please send her good vibes because next week she was in the musical, and she was cast as Sandy in Grease as a freshman, which is kind of a big deal. And clearly there's no musical. She's not the only person who's got stuff canceled. We're all very aware that we're all in the same boat. Yeah, everyone's got stuff canceled. Everyone's experiencing loss. No one's loss or cancellations or whatever is any greater than anybody else's. We're all experiencing it. We're all trying to figure it out. So she's upstairs doing an online voice lesson right now. So I'm down here. It was just funny. We have this little, family meeting, and I talked about this on one of my IGTV episodes this week. Sorry, I'm just kind of trying to get, and if you all think that people who have been in the business for a while, like have things figured out, you should know I have the jankiest little old plastic tripod that's holding my phone sitting in a flower pot on top of a P90X box. That's my setup, people. You can make anything happen that you want to make happen. Don't tell me you can't build a business because you don't know what you're doing. Come on now. It's sitting on a P90X box in a flower pot. Anyway, so we're all trying to kind of navigate this weird and wonky space. And yes, everyone's trying to share space in a house that's not very big. And thankfully, my husband went down to the office today for a little bit, which is good because we were all home yesterday, and we have a little family meeting. We have, I have my very solid morning routine that I talk about all the time, but we also have a family kind of a meeting every evening where we just go around and say, okay, what does everyone have and what kind of space are you going to need? Because the two girls that are home have online stuff, and especially Jessie, in a performing arts major, she's got online. She was rehearsing her dialogue and doing some acting stuff this week. She's got 2 voice lessons today. There's times when people need space, and then of course we're working out down here. To follow me on Instagram at all, you've been seeing like we're all down here in this space, and Josie's over there doing something, and Jesse's over here doing something, and I'm kind of over here doing 10 rounds, and we're all down here in this not very big space using Beachbody On Demand. It is the best family membership ever, and thankfully my husband wasn't down here with us because I don't know, men just make weird noises when they're working out, so we don't need them down here. It's a lot. It's a lot, and we have 2 dogs, and today the 2 dogs wanted to come down here and be with us when we were working out too. So you know what? We're all just trying to figure it out together, and I thought I'd pop in here and share some thoughts that I have shared with my team, with my team Sparta Nation, and maybe if it helps you navigate this in any way, awesome. I hope that I can bring a little bit of value to you. So if we have not met yet, if we are not friends in real life yet, my name is Julie Voris. I live in Carmel, Indiana. And if you have been to Summit the past 2 years, you were about 30 minutes from my house. So I felt like I was hosting a huge, ginormous family reunion. It was the best ever. And I'm sure New Orleans will be amazing, but please, please, please come back to Indianapolis. I cried like a baby when you all left. I was so sad. So I hope that you will come back and visit our town again, come back for Summit. But that's where I live. I have been a coach for 12 years. So, when I started, we were actually writing orders on the cave walls because I've been through this business from the beginning. When I came in, all we had was P90X and Slim and Six and Yoga Booty Ballet and Turbo Jam. And I've just seen the evolution of this business, and I've seen us go from DVDs to bod to, I came in when there was no Shakeology, and now so I've seen it all. I've navigated a lot. I was on the coach advisory board when we made that shift from DVDs to bod, and how hard that was for everyone. So I feel like I've got a little bit of perspective on the business. Let's be honest, and I want to be really clear. Nobody has any perspective on this life situation, right? None of us have ever navigated or gone through anything like this, and we hope we never do again. This is a very unique, surreal life experience that the entire world is experiencing at one time. So I don't know how to navigate that, but I do know how to navigate my business, and I do know how to navigate some pieces of life that will help us navigate this life situation a little bit better. So I thought I would maybe share some of that with you, because what I have seen over 12 years of doing this business is when life gets hard, and that can be hard in any situation. When life gets hard, I see two kinds of coaches. I see coaches who do this, who step back and say, oh, this is just so hard. I just don't have time for my business. It's just so hard. And I see coaches who do this and lean into their business. And what's always interesting to me is why, when life gets hard, would we step away from the very piece of our lives that make everything else in it better? Think about it. We have movement in our lives through Beachbody On Demand, through all the programs, and through our business. We coach people to make sure we're getting movement in our lives. How much better do you feel after you work out? It's like you can't even measure it, right? Even on the days when it's not a super great workout, how much better do you feel when you work out? Okay, so there's that. How much better do you feel when you've got your Shakeology, when you've got your Energize, when you've got your beach bars, when you are when you're using your portion control containers, when you are really using your tools for nutrition, when you're not, and it's easy to do right now, we all know it, let's just get it out there on the table, when you're not wandering around your pantry aimlessly eating because you're home for 24 hours, how much better do you feel when you have active, engaged, intentional nutrition? 100 times, right? 100 times better. So we know we feel better with our movement. We feel better with our nutrition. How much better do you feel when you are surrounded by people and when you are putting good stuff in your brain and the people that you're in conversation with are doing that too, and you're having this conversation about personal development and goal setting and living your best life? Even my daughters here at home, one daughter right now, my youngest daughter is reading Atomic Habits. My middle one just finished Wolfpack, and now she's reading something else. I think the Hillary Clinton book. It doesn't matter what your politics are. The fact is that they're reading something that's fueling their mind. My husband just finished Wolfpack by Abby Wambach too. Josie finished it and she handed it to JV and said, you need to read this too. And he just finished it as well. Teams are teams. Men or women, doesn't matter. Teams are teams. So when you are doing that intentionally, and then you're in conversation with other people who are doing that too, and you're like, oh my gosh, Jesse, let me read you this passage from my book today, and you're having conversation, you're better. Okay, cool. Now you've also got this fourth really cool piece that's called community. And it has never been more apparent any other time than right now, how crucial it is for us to stay connected in whatever way we can. And we get to get creative and unique. Yesterday, I taught a live turbo class from right here in my basement and Zoomed it to anyone who wanted to come, mostly my YMCA members where I teach, but I open it up, put on my stories, anyone that wants to come. We are finding ways to stay connected because we're understanding how vital that community is. And then we've got this other really interesting piece that also makes our life better, and that's the income. So we've got fitness, we've got nutrition, we've got personal development, we've got community, we've got income. Every single one of those pieces on their own makes our life better. Come together in this beautiful soup of awesomeness, and it makes your life so exponentially better you can't even find words to describe it. So why on God's green earth would anyone take a step back from all those pieces that make your life better? And I don't care if it's a virus or just any other hard time that's happening in life, because guess what? When this is done and the fog has cleared, there's going to be another hard time in life. And then there's going to be another hard time in life. While it might not be a hard time that affects the entire world at one time, there will be another hard time. Duh, that's called life. And if you choose to step back every single time this gets hard, you don't have a business, which means you're not doing the thing that you said you wanted to do when you raised your hand and said you wanted to be a coach and you stepped into this group and said, I want to do more. Because these programs and products have changed my life. There isn't some finite amount of Shakeology. Sorry, friends, it doesn't grow on a tree and it's not going to go extinct. We actually can keep making Shakeology. There is, thank the Lord, not a finite amount of Energize. Because I don't know what would happen if there was. There is not a finite amount of fitness. There's not a finite amount of community. And whether you believe it or not, there is not a finite amount of money. There isn't. So when we keep this to ourselves, what we're saying to everybody else is, number one, I just want to hoard it in here because I might run out of Shakeology or fitness or friends or money. What the freak? So let me just keep it to myself. Or you're saying, actually, maybe you don't need fitness or nutrition or money in your life. You're making that decision for them. Let me tell you something. When I started this business almost 12 years ago, I had been a high school English teacher. My husband is a college football coach. That's all he's ever been. That's what he does. He has a undergrad degree and 2 master's degrees. 2. I was a high school English teacher. I became a fitness instructor. Zero money. I knew nothing about this business. I knew nothing about how to own a business. I'd never seen that in my life. I had no idea how to run a business. My husband had never owned a business. We've just done this. College coaching, high school English teaching. I get into fitness. So I go from teaching fitness from teaching high school English to teaching at the YMCA. And then I've got this coaching opportunity that comes into my life. At the time it comes into my life, we were so poor. We were so poor. Now, these are human beings with college degrees and 2 master's degrees in professional settings, and we were so poor. And I'm like, hey, so now I'm going to actually not teach English anymore. I'm going to teach fitness. Now, my husband's gone all the time. So someone's going to stay home if you're going to have 3 kids. That just is what it is. So, okay, I'm going to teach fitness. All right, I'm going to go from whatever I was making as a teacher, nothing, to teaching at the YMCA, also nothing. And then this opportunity comes in to my life. And I start building a business. But I'm telling you, 100% that as I began to build my fitness business, as I was a master trainer for Chalene Johnson, as I began to build this Beachbody business, as poor as we were, I was really good at covering that up. We had a lot of debt, and I was really good at covering up the fact that we struggled. I didn't share that. Both my husband and I came from, my husband more so even than me, I grew up in a teeny tiny little town, tiny with a cornfield in my backyard. But in that teeny tiny little town, upper middle class, I suppose, if there is such a thing in a town of 1,200. My husband grew up kind of old money, if you will, like money. So here he's this football coach. His parents are like, what is going on? Marries a high school English teacher who turns fitness instructor. The entire family is like, who are you two? And we had no money, but we covered it up really, really well. If you would have looked at me, you would not have thought that I needed this business. I was teaching group exercise. I was a master trainer. So you would think, well, I already have fitness and nutrition dialed in. I'm teaching group exercise, so I likely already have community. And I covered up the fact that we couldn't pay our bills every month. So if you would have looked at me from the outside and made that judgment for me and not invited me, you would have been wrong. I didn't have my fitness really dialed in. I'd always been the person who couldn't sit still. I'd always been a movement person, but I was overtraining like crazy. I was injured. I was teaching way too many classes. I was just on the brink of learning how to take care of myself better. I wasn't doing a good job of taking care of my mind to be a better spouse, parent, person. I was kind of on the brink of that, but not there yet. I certainly didn't know what the hell I was doing with my nutrition. And I didn't have a community around me of people who wanted to level up and do more. And we certainly didn't have enough money. But if you would have looked at me from the outside, you might have made the decision for me and said, well, they don't need it. And how wrong you would have been. So when I'm talking about those coaches who step back and don't share what we have, I'm talking about someone who might not have offered the business opportunity to me because you would have looked at me and said, oh, she probably doesn't need it. And I don't have words to describe to you how different our life is now 12 years later than it was back then. I am a different person because of this business opportunity, because Christine Dwyer invited me, because Shalene Johnson told me this is something that she recommended that we do, because someone invited me. So because someone invited me, I have to invite other people. There is no option to lean out. There is no option to lean out. We have to get over ourselves and get out of our own way. There is no option to lean out. We have to be the ones who choose to lean in. And here's what I know to be true in this world crisis or in any. And I wrote some notes of some things that I shared with my team. So I'm going to share them with you. How are we going to handle this? Whether it's this or something else. Because 100% guaranteed there's going to be something else. If you think there's not, who are you? You're not a human on this planet. Because there is going to be. So what are we going to do now and what are we going to do later? Number one, we're going to control the controllable. Control the controllable. Go back to all those pieces of our business. Can you control how you work out and move your body? Yes, you can. If that means you have to, like me, get up at 4:30 a.m. to make sure that you're getting your other stuff done to get your workout in because you're juggling space with everybody, that's what it means, people. That's what it means, and that's okay. We're perfectly capable of doing that. Now, if you have a newborn baby and you're sleeping 30 minutes at night, don't be dumb. You know that doesn't apply to you. But otherwise, it probably does. You're probably going to have to get up earlier. And guess what? We control that. We control that. We set the tone for the attitude and the mindset in our homes. We just do. And moms, I'm talking especially to you. You are the North Star for your family. You set the temperature for your family in your home. If you are freaked out and anxious and frustrated and going around like the world is ending, so's your family. And then your kids are going to be freaked out and anxious and stressed out and going around like the world is ending. And then you're going to have to deal with that. They need you to be their calm center. They need you to show them, to model for them how to control the controllable. Because guess what then? When they have something in their lives that goes a little bit off, that's kind of crazy, they're going to look back to the situation and go, oh, remember that one time when we were all quarantined in our house for 185 days? And remember how mom and dad kind of handled it, or how dad and dad handled it, or how mom and mom handled it, and how everybody handled it. And we were just calm and centered and fine. They're going to remember that. So number one is always controlling the controllable, period. When you move your body, what you put in your body, and y'all, please do not even tell me about the situation with the food. My children came home last week. They're like, let's make cookies. I'm like, oh, hell no. You may do that one time, and then we have got to put a stop to that, because we can make cookies every night. I don't care if they are gluten-free vegan cookies, which they are. Eating 5 gluten-free vegan cookies is still eating 5 vegan gluten-free cookies. Nobody needs to be doing that. So we've got to control what we're putting in our mouth. And you know how we do that? We don't buy it. We don't buy the stuff, right? Yeah, we make sure we get our shake in and we do all the things. Okay, controlling the controllable. And then control what you're putting in your head. Is the news freaking you out? Turn it off. No one's making you watch it. Just turn it off. Tune in enough just so you kind of know what's happening. Like yesterday in Indiana, they decided schools were closed till May 1st. That's a useful piece of information to know, yes? But we don't need to have the news on 24/7. We don't. So turn it off. Okay, number 2, I want you to think about the big picture and the global perspective here, because what happens is we start to get into this, it's so hard for me. It's so hard for me. It must be much harder for me than anyone else. No, it's not. I promise you, no, it's not. There are so many people who've experienced loss, who are experiencing loss right now, who will experience loss in the future. The ripple effect is immeasurable. So no, your life's not any harder than anybody else's. I'm looking at my own household, and I can't talk about it that much because it makes me very emotional when I start talking about it. But I think, so we don't have spring practice. You know, my husband should be, today would be the first day of spring practice for my husband. We don't have that. We don't have recruiting in May. So there's no, going to high schools and recruiting. How are we going to have camp in June? And do we even have a season in the fall? And if we don't have a season, is there even a need for a football coach? I don't know. So when you start thinking about the ripple effect, not only will you go down the rabbit hole of stress, but you can't do anything about that. So nobody's life's any harder than anybody else's. We're just all trying to figure it out. We're all trying to figure it out. So we've got to get over this my life's so hard, and have a global perspective here of what's happening in the world is happening to everyone. And if anything, to me, that is a little bit reassuring that this person might have missed their senior year prom. Well, this person over here missed their musical. And this person over here may not have a job in the fall. And this person over here we're all going through something, right? So nobody's going through something that's harder. We're all trying to figure it out. So let's have some global perspective with everyone going through something, and stop going down the rabbit hole of stress, because that solves nothing. And me doing that certainly is not going to solve if my husband has a job in the fall. That's only going to screw up the tone of our household right now. So we might as well have a global perspective. Everyone's going through something. All right. So we're going to go through it together. And so what I shared with my team on Wednesday, and I think I've got a couple of my coaches in here actually, so they'll be like, I heard this already. But what I shared with my team on Wednesday, that just keeps coming up, and then I'm going to read a little something to you from this. So if you haven't read this, I'm highly recommending this to you. But what I shared with them on Wednesday was this phrase that keeps coming into my head. And I do a Facebook Live on my team page every Wednesday, and I'm doing them on Fridays now too. And in the middle of my Facebook Live, and I was saying this phrase and saying it, and I'm like, I need a visual to show people what I'm talking about. And so I messaged my daughters. I'm like, I need you to go up and get this thing so I can show my coaches what I'm talking about. And I'm talking about this. I'm talking about this silly, cheesy Disney light. And this is what we have the opportunity, actually, the obligation to be right now for people. This is what we have the opportunity to be right now for ourselves, for our families, for our communities. This is what we have the opportunity to be. We have the opportunity to be the light right now. And if you want to stay out of the shadows in your own life, and you want to start to dissipate the fog in your own life that feels like it's enveloping all of us, turn on your light. Because if you are the one holding the light, you can't be in the shadows. You can't be. If you are the one holding the light, lighting the path for others, you're lighting the path for you too. If you take your mind off of you and start thinking about how can I help others, it's amazing how much your stress and anxiety decreases because you're simply not focused on you so much. Well, the cool part about that is that's who we are as coaches. That's not just what we do, it's actually who we are. That's why we became coaches, because we felt this deeper calling to be this person that helps others, that to be this person that is the light for others. And the fog is thick and it's real and it's there, and we're all staring into it like, what the freak is happening? And we can get swallowed up by it, and we can pick up a light and we can help somebody. And in our case as coaches, we've got so many options for the light. We've got clearly our workouts and our nutrition, but we have our community. And I think that's the key right here. I think the community is the light. And some suggestions I was making to my team this week was, okay, stop waiting for someone else to start a group that you can join and start it. Collaborate with some of your coaches and just start a group. Just start. No, there are no rules here. The rules have gone out the window. There are no rules here for what's going to help us navigate this. But I do know this, if there is any one rule, the only way we're going to navigate it is together. So what do we have as coaches? What tools do we have as coaches? What resources and paths do we have as coaches that we know work? Groups. Start a group. Start a group, but collaborate with someone. Don't just be like, well, I wish someone would start a group that I could join. Dude, you're a grown-up and you're a freaking Beachbody coach. Own that. That's powerful. Collaborate with somebody else and start a group. I don't care if it's free. I don't care if it's 10 rounds. I don't care if it's drink your water. I don't care what it is. Start a group. Bring people together. What if the group was a book club? That was another thing I suggested to my team. What if you just did a book club? What if you did a podcast club? My 18-year-old daughter to put on her Instagram stories, who's got good podcasts for me to listen to right now. She's gone through all of hers. She's connecting with community on her own because she sees that's what we do. What about a language club? How about learning French? Could that be useful in the coming months ahead? Why, yes, I think it might be. What if you started a Learn French Club and everybody downloaded the free version of Rosetta Stone or Duolingo and you did a French club? Could you do that? You can do anything you freaking want to do. There are no rules here. But what you can't do is step back because people need us. We're the first responders right now, in a way, with zero disrespect for the doctors and nurses and police officers and firemen and people who truly are. We're also sort of a first responder because we have tools that can help people navigate this. We have the light. We have it. What do we get at? If we put it behind our back like there's only so much to go around, what are we doing? We have the opportunity to make such an impact right now, to help clear the fog for other people. We have that opportunity. Here's what I know. We can do zero to help find a vaccine. Zero. We can't, most of us cannot be the ones who find the vaccine. We're not the doctors in the labs. We're not the scientists trying to figure it out. We can't find a vaccine. But what we can do is be the light for others who simply don't have the capacity to do it for themselves. But we do because we have the tools. We have the culture. Like this, it's almost like we've been waiting for this. And I don't mean waiting for some heinous illness to take over the world, but waiting for an opportunity to step into our greatness. If you've been waiting to step into your greatness? Well, guess what? The world is calling you right freaking now. We need you. If you've doubted your story or doubted your impact or doubted the ability to make an influence, the world is waiting on you right now. Right now, this is the opportunity. There is no time to waste. There's no time to waste. Likely someone on the street that you live doesn't have Beachbody On Demand, doesn't have Shakeology, doesn't have a community. On the street that you live, I bet there's someone. They're waiting on you. This is your opportunity to step into it, to own it. There are no rules here. You get to make any group you want. You can get to carry a freaking Tinkerbell wand if you want. If you don't like that, I think this one might be out. Oh no, it's still got a lot. You can carry this, carry a Mickey wand. I don't care what wand, I don't care what light you carry, pick it up and start carrying it. Because other people, they simply don't have the capacity to do it. They don't. But we do. Because this isn't just what we do. This is who we are. This is who we are. No one's drawn to this business and to this company unless you're ready to do something greater with your life. A lot of people let their fears and their doubts hold them back from that. And they take a step back. But the fog's going to clear at some point. The fog's going to clear. This isn't going to last forever. And at some point, we're going to open our doors and we're going to step out into the sunshine and we're going to hug our neighbors and we're going to be together in real life community again. But until then, we have an opportunity to change lives. And it's not just an opportunity, it's an obligation. And here's what I know. Here's what I know for sure, because I'm watching it happen in my own team. I'm watching my team set fire to their passion and reach out even more and help people. I'm watching it happen every day and it's blowing my mind. And here's what I know. There are going to be coaches who hit Success Club this month. It's a metric in our business that indicates if you're connecting people with our solutions at work. So I don't want to hear any bullshit story about how people are saying no, because 13,000 more people bought Beachbody On Demand in the last day than they do usually. They're not saying no. They're waiting on you. Coaches will hit Success Club in March. Coaches will advance rank in March. There will be success starters. There will be diamonds. There will be star diamonds. People will change lives in March. The question is, will you be one of them? Because every single one of us has the same access to the same tools and the same programs and the same opportunity. At the end of this month, lives will be changed by coaches. Will you be one of those coaches who changes lives? That's a decision that you get to make, because in every single moment is an opportunity for greatness. Results are not the attainment of greatness, but simply the confirmation of it. You become great long before the results show it. What is profound is that the difference between greatness and mediocrity on a daily and weekly basis is slim. But the difference in results down the road is tremendous. What makes a champion is the discipline to do the extra things, especially when you don't feel like it. Especially when you don't feel like it. The encouraging news is, regardless of how you've performed in the past, I don't give two poops whether you hit Success Club in February, January, December, whatever. I don't care. Regardless of how you performed in the past or how you've performed currently, which means for the past 19 days of March, if you've done nothing on today, March 20th, you have an opportunity to change that. The encouraging news is that regardless of how you performed in the past or how you are performing currently, you can be great beginning today. Simply by choosing to do the things you know you need to do. It's really no more complicated than that. In the end, you are either great in the moment or not at all. My friends, be great in the moment. This is our moment. Not because there's a horrible, heartbreaking virus out there, but this is our moment. And we have a chance to connect people whose hearts and minds may have been closed before and are more open now, because they have to be by necessity. They have to be. And we have an opportunity to step in there and hold the light and simply say, I got you. I got you. I got the roadmap. I'm going to help you. I got you. And when you do this for others, when you hold the light for others, you can't be in the shadows yourself. You can't be left behind because you're holding it. And when you light the way for others, you're lighting the way for yourself. You're lighting the way for your family, for your community, for the world. That's how big this can be. All from pressing play, drinking a shake, reading a book, and inviting others to join us. It feels like it's so small, and yet every single opportunity is that opportunity for greatness. And you have it in you, or you wouldn't be here. So today I'm encouraging you, Friday, March 20th, as we finish our first week of social distancing quarantine, I'm encouraging you to pick up your light, step into your greatness. The world's waiting on you, and we can change lives right now, today, and for the rest of this month. It shouldn't take a horrible virus for us to understand the impact we can make, but sometimes horrible things lead to beautiful outcomes. So let's step into it right now. Step into your greatness, take advantage of the tools, leverage all the resources you have to pick up the light and hold it. I believe in you. I know we can change the world together, and I know that we're going to navigate this together. And when we get to New Orleans a few months from now, and we've all resurfaced, we're actually going to hug each other in real life, and it's going to be 100 times more amazing than it ever was before. Go change some lives today. I believe in you guys. See you later.